Welcome into the Coach's Show here on Saturday, December 4th. We've got a lot of sports here in review this week and coming up today. And then we've got Coach Alexi Upton, Wildcats soccer coach, joining us today to talk about his season getting underway. But before we do that, a bit of college football roundup. It's Championship Saturday, so all the teams who made their conference championship games will be taking on today. I could mention all the games, but I'll just mention the ones from around the area. The Big 12 Championship will be located at Jerry World, deep in the heart of Arlington, Texas, at AT&T Stadium, as the number 9 ranked Baylor Bears will be taking on the number 5 ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys. Baylor is 10-2, Oklahoma State 11-1, and should be a great game as Oklahoma State looking to get that first ever Big 12 championship after hopes were thwarted a decade ago when they lost to Iowa State, which eliminated them from the BCS National Championship. But best of luck to both teams. I know that'll be a really good one. Then another game, the Houston Cougars will be playing the Cincinnati Bearcats in the American Athletic Conference. That game will kick off at 3 p.m. Houston's 11-1, having a great season after they put down SMU when they were undefeated at that point in that season, and kept getting wins all the way to the championship. So best of luck to them as they'll be taking on a top 4 ranked Cincinnati Bearcat squad at number 4, 12-0, and looking to, if they can get that win versus Houston, looking to get that bid to the college football playoffs. So should be a great game. You can catch that game at 3 p.m. on ABC. And again, there are more championship games for college football all over the day, but those are the college championships from teams with the surrounding areas. Then we'll move over to Wildcats and Lady Cat sports in review. So basketball has been really getting down to business as both teams have been playing in tournament play this week, starting Thursday. But the women's basketball team, they lost at Canton on Tuesday, and then participated in the Glen Rose tournament Thursday and Friday. Late Thursday and then an early Friday morning. Thursday they lost a tough one, 61-18 to Amarillo Caprock High School. And then Friday, they had a really tough time. They lost by 3 points to Rose Hill, 44-41. They came back down from 14 to pull within 2, but shots just couldn't fall in the end when they really needed them to, so they ultimately lost to Rose Hill. Next up, they'll be back at home on Tuesday, December 7th, when they host New Boston. Then moving over to the men's basketball team, Tuesday they got the win versus Rockwall in a very tight game, winning by 2 over the Jackets. And that was a great game, came all the way down to the wire, gave them another win. And then Thursday, Friday, and today as well, potentially, they are in the Mansfield tournament. Thursday they lost their first game on the season to Atascocita, 66-61, but rebounded later Thursday night by beating Arlington Seguin High School in a big rout, 77-55. Friday, they got 2 more wins, one blowout and a close one. First beating the Wilson Wildcats, 80-56, and then beating A&M Consolidated in a tight one, less than a 10-point victory at 68-59. And then after Saturday, when they participate in the Mansfield tournament, they'll be back at home, just like the Lady Cats, on Tuesday versus Royce City. So for all you basketball fans, we've got a doubleheader on Tuesday. First the women's basketball team and then the men's basketball team, so be sure to head out there. And when we return from a commercial break, we'll be talking with Coach Alexi Upton here about Wildcat soccer. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Coach's Show here on Saturday, December 4th. Before we went to commercial, we did a little bit of college football roundup and then detailed basketball. Both teams participated in tournament play, the women's in their second tournament of the winter season, and the men participated in their first. The women over in Glen Rose and the men in Mansfield, they will be playing again today. But joining us today here on December 4th is Coach Alexi Upton. Thanks for joining us, Coach.
Yes, sir.
So this week y'all got back to practicing on November 29th. How was the first week back in action for your squad?
Yeah, we have been waiting for this moment for a long, long time. I mean, when you're in off season, it just kills you to not be able to just get to practicing and get to games. So we've really been waiting for this moment, and just trying to build off the success that we had last year. And get into practice and build on the principles that we already have. And it's really easy. I find my job getting easier and easier every year because, those principles are already set, how we play the game, our system, things like that are already set. So guys are already knowing it. They're already picking it up really quick. And you have to spend less time doing that, and you can spend more time doing, the next level of things because you already got that stuff down. So it's really exciting.
And don't want to dwell too much on last year and how it ended, but your team went pretty far in the playoffs, unfortunately, falling to Longview. Mm-hmm. But you're talking about building on that success. Did you find that some of your players were kind of hungry to get back at it after that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think there's still maybe a little bitter taste in everybody's mouth. I mean, there is in mine. I mean, we were up with 3 minutes left or so. So, I think we game planned for them perfectly, and we did everything right, and it just didn't fall. It just we made a mistake late and didn't fall our way. But yeah, I mean, I would hope, and I think that our guys are really ready to get after it, really ready to do whatever they can to maybe not have that feeling again this year. So.
And then you kind of touched on this, but what has been the mood of the team as they've all kind of reconvened and gotten back together?
Our mood is sky high right now. I don't know if it's because of rankings, which I'm sure you talk about it a little bit, or if it's just the camaraderie and the brotherhood that we preach every day. But there's a real good chemistry. We did our Chats Media video on Thursday, and everybody was having a good time, and everybody's smiling, everybody's loving on each other, and so we got a really great group, and they're really excited to get after it, and we're all just ready to get going. So.
And you talk a lot about camaraderie. Something I've noticed this year that perhaps maybe I just didn't notice last year was that your team attended a volleyball game. Not to mention, student leadership has come out for a couple basketball games. So it's kind of been really good to see a lot of the teams kind of supporting each other, not only themselves.
Yeah, I mean, we make it mandatory. but no, I mean, I want our guys to support other programs. I mean, that's important. I mean, we're all Wildcats. Now it's not just us Wildcats, not just basketball Wildcats. We're all Wildcats. So we try to teach those values in them. Hey, if you support people, people will come support you. You got to give a little to get a little. So, our guys have loved it. The volleyball game they really loved, and they were like, "This is cool. We should do this again next year." And then they really, we always everybody loves going to basketball. So, they really loved that. And that first home game, there was a huge student section, and we were a big part of that. And it was fun, and we really loved it. And like I said, we're gonna go to everybody's sport events, and when softball, baseball rolls around, we'll try to get to those as well. And that's important to us to give back to other people. So.
And then something we talked about earlier this summer, kind of during the Edge Strength Summer and Conditioning Program, is that your squad's pretty young. You lost 11 seniors graduation last semester. But how have guys responded to the possibility of stepping up and taking a leadership position with the squad?
Yeah, I mean, we still kept 15 or 16 in the varsity team. So that was really good that we kept that many guys that have that kind of varsity level experience and can kind of play at that level. That was really crucial for us. So, we really lost a lot of guys that were big time players and game winners and things like that. But we kept a lot of guys that understand minutes, understand the system, understand rotation, understand things like that. So really, we're still in a really good place. And so, it's not like, we lost 11 dudes, rebuild, It's like, hey, we lost a lot of key guys, but we got a lot of key guys still, and we can still be really great. So.
And that's what's great is that when you have players who return, who know what they need to do, who know their role in that system, and that's how you see a lot of sustained success in a lot of teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why it's absolutely crucial to bring younger guys through while you have, like, let's say you have a lot of seniors, let's say you have a lot of juniors, you still got to bring a couple of younger guys in. During our tournament season, we're going to bring a lot of, random younger guys in to be a part of our varsity group just because that's crucial. They have to see that level. They have to see that intensity change. Because they'll do great on JV, and then they'll get to varsity, and they're like, whoa, this is a whole other world. So they have to come along, and they have to get a couple minutes here and there, and they have to see that level of play. And we'll hopefully be good for a couple more years to come. Very huge junior class. My junior class is like 16, 17 deep, and 10 or 12 of them are on varsity, and a couple more are really key players on JV. Hopefully next year will just be the same thing again. So.
And when we return from a commercial break, we'll talk more about Wildcat soccer with Coach Alexi Upton. Welcome back to the Coach's Show, where we're talking Wildcat soccer now that the squad has started practicing this week. Coach, I think we've done a pretty good job of leading up to this season for your squad, but let's talk your team this year. You touched earlier on this, but what can Wildcat soccer fans and Sulphur Springs residents expect from your soccer team?
They can expect the same thing that they've seen since I walked in the door 4 years ago. We're gonna work really hard. We're gonna play quick. We're gonna play fast. And we're not going to get outworked by any team. I can go back through 4 years of film, and I can count on one hand the amount of games that we've gotten outworked. So we're not going to get outworked by anybody. We're going to be very fundamentally sound and not give away cheap stuff. And, we're going to do our best to make our community proud and our fans proud and people that show up. They can also expect we're doing something new this year. We're finally doing spirit shirts. So that's a little cool addition that we're adding. So fans can expect each one of our kids is going to get one. And as we call them name by name, they'll get to toss one out and give one out to their family. So that's something new that we're doing too. And that's we're just adding more and more stuff every year. So we're excited.
And then should be a good one for you and your squad, as something we've kind of touched on earlier. Picked in a couple of preseason polls as being a top 10 and top 15 team. What does that mean for you and your team, and do you try and temper expectations when something like this comes out?
No, I don't think we temper it because we're excited for it. That's what we've been fighting for 3-4 years now. Is we've been fighting for validation. When I first got here, it was like, just those Sulphur Springs guys out there in the middle of nowhere. And now we've worked really hard, and we've played high-level people from the Dallas area, and we've made a name for ourselves, and people know who we are. The 15 ranking on the Lethal Enforcer one, that's just kind of like Twitter and social media and stuff, so that's whatever. But the number 9 Tasco one is voted on by coaches. That is a coaches poll voted on by coaches, and coaches only have access to that. So that shows me a lot. I mean, the fact that somebody puts us in a top 10 in that shows that multiple coaches in this region said, hey, these guys, they're a really quality team, and we're going to vote for them. So that is super crucial. And I showed our guys that on Thursday, and they were super hyped up about that. I mean, that is big for us. I mean, our next-door neighbors that dominate us aren't even on the poll because they didn't have a good year last year. They lost in the first round, Mount Pleasant. So we're super excited that we're in the poll and we're on it, and we're going to just go live up to our expectations. So.
And then something you kind of talked about here before when we were on a commercial break. Have one of your squads here in SS received a preseason ranking before?
Yeah, I mean, I tried to pull some, older guys and, people that have been a part of the, program, from, 2000 to now. And, I don't really know if they've ever gotten ranked before, which is really big for our program. It shows where we're at as a program, getting ranked, 3 teams, including a freshman team, doing a lot of big level things and got a lot of really good players. Omar Hernandez that graduated last year is going off to play professional soccer. We're doing a lot of really great things, and we're building and growing constantly. Adding things like spirit shirts because you got the finances and the support for that. We're just growing daily, and we're just really excited that we're growing daily and we're doing good things. So.
And what an honor for you and your team. But, Coach, you talked about your squad. Why don't you let the good people of Sulphur Springs know about kind of some games coming up here over the next month?
Yeah, the big one is we start next Saturday. And speaking of rankings, we start with number 3, number 6, and number 8 in 4A. We play Salina, we play Pittsburgh, and we play Lindo. And there's 3, 6, 8. So that'll be really big. That's Saturday from 9 to 2, various different times throughout the day, all at the Prim. So that will be a really good test to get us going. They're all scrimmages. They don't count towards the record, but it counts towards us because we want to get kind of a comparison where we're at, especially if, we may possibly be 4A next year, if the rumor's floating around. That's a really good test for us if that's true because, we got to get a look at those guys and see what they have and see what's in their system for maybe next year. So, and then right after that on Tuesday, the 14th, if I'm correct, December 14th, yes, we go to Greenville. That's kind of our little rivalry game. And we renew that every year with them and play that. So we'll be going to Greenville. They came to our house last year. And we're excited for that. The kids have a lot of friends that are over there, and they kind of jar at each other and talk a lot of crap. So that'll be fun for us. That's always a game that's kind of circled. It doesn't really mean anything, but at the same time, it means a whole lot. So that'll be a big one for us. And then, a couple more after that, scrimmages, and then we'll get started in the Forney tournament in the first week of January.
Yeah, because I was about to say when you all send out, and you and Coach Owens, who is just recently retired, thanks so much for him. But when y'all release the schedules, one thing I look for is kind of when the preseason ends and non-district play starts, and y'all's annual alumni game is on the 1st, and then it's pretty swiftly thereafter y'all get under regular season play.
I think that's on the 1st or 31st, one of those two, so whatever the Saturday is. And that's a big game for us. Our alumni are really great, and there's a lot of guys that stay very active in our program and, kind of mentor our kids. And, there's a lot of them that come back in and we had 3 alumni at practice yesterday. I mean, just they show up and they watch our practice and they say hi to our kids, which is huge. I mean, the kids see that and they're really excited. I mean, they love that people come and care about them and support them, and that's a really big deal. I mean, that's a big game that we really like to play too, and that's kind of one like Greenville where it doesn't really mean anything, but it also means a whole lot at the same time, and our kids get really fired up for that one.
And then last thing I'll say is Greenville. It's from a guy who used to make the drive out to Dallas many times a week. Yeah, a drive to Greenville sounds like a dream.
Yeah. Can I go back 2 steps to something?
Yeah, please do.
I just want to say to the community and to Greg Owens, thank you very much for everything that you've done for me personally and to the boys soccer program. He took a chance on not even 23 years old kid yet, 23-year-old kid in me, and gave me the opportunity to be a head coach. And I'm incredibly grateful for that because we've had just an incredible 4 years and a really great program that's risen from kind of out of the ashes into a really high level program, and that's all thanks to Greg Owens. I don't know if this is public knowledge, but I was hitting 2 interviews at once. I came to Sulphur Springs, and then I went out to T-High. I actually got an offer for T-High and a contract for T-High, and Greg Owens said, no, come back and we're going to see what we can do for you. And then I became a head coach after that, and I was really excited, and it's been all up since there. But he's total class act, and I'm so happy that he gave me my opportunity, and I'm just incredibly grateful for it. So.
Yeah, he's been a wonderful man to work with, and just incredibly nice, welcoming a clearly out-of-town boy here and welcoming him into the community.
Same here, so.
And just being just so great in everything that he does, and retiring from both football head coach and athletic director. So he will be missed, but again, thank you so much, Coach Greg Owens, for all that you've done, not only for us here sitting at this table, but for the entire city of Sulphur Springs.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And that'll do it for us here on the Saturday, December 4th edition of the Coaches Show, joined by Alexi Upton. And be sure to head to Wildcats and Lady Cats soccer contest coming up in the next few weeks. But until then, that'll do it for us here at KSST, 12:30 a.m. Shooting video is Doug Haston. Special thanks to James Terry running the board. I'm your interviewer, Ross Lebinsky. Thanks again for joining us, Coach.
Thank you, sir.
And we'll see y'all next Saturday. Until then, keep it peachy keen.